Keely Hodgkinson has dominated all year. Olympic gold, unbeaten races, record-breaking speed. Then, out of nowhere, she drops a bombshell. Her season is over. No more races, no more showdowns. With the queen of 800M stepping away, the question is, who will rise and what happens next?
Come on!
It's a tough session this because they've just been in like 20 odd degree heat in South Africa, and then everything works so efficiently out there.
Keely Hodgkinson has just dropped a bombshell that no one saw coming. She won't be competing for the rest of the 2024 season due to an injury. For a runner who has been untouchable this year, this news comes as a huge shock to fans and competitors alike. It's hard to believe that after such a dominant run, her season has come to an abrupt end. She announced the news on Instagram with a simple but impactful message. No more races for me. Unfortunately, I picked up a small injury, but we achieved everything I had hoped to do this year. Thank you for all the love and support. See you on the track next year. Just like that, her 2024 campaign, which had been nothing short of spectacular, is officially over. There were no dramatic press conferences or long-winded explanations. Just a straightforward statement that left the track and field world stunned.
Here again today, both championships ahead of the Olympics. How important is championship racing to you ahead of such a big games?
I think it's probably the most important because it's so different.
This announcement isn't just about Hodgkinson stepping away. It shakes up the entire 800M competition. Her rivals, including world champion Mary Moraa and American star Athing Mu, were preparing to face her in upcoming races, especially in the highly anticipated Diamond League finals in Brussels. With Hodgkinson out, the dynamics of these races have completely changed. The question is, who will step up in her absence? Without the reigning Olympic champion in the mix, the race for the title is suddenly wide open. For fans, this is a tough pill to swallow. The 22-year-old has been one of the most exciting athletes to watch, especially after her breathtaking gold medal performance in Paris. That race, where she boldly took the lead with 1 lap to go and never looked back, was watched by over 9 million people on the BBC, making it the most watched event of the entire Paris Olympics. Just a few months later, she broke her national record in the 800M, running 1:54.61 at the London Diamond League. Everything was pointing toward her dominating the rest of the season, possibly even breaking the long-standing 800M world record. Keely Hodgkinson's 2024 season was nothing short of spectacular. From the very first race of the year, she made it clear that she was the woman to beat. She wasn't just winning races, she was dominating them. Every time she stepped onto the track, she looked untouchable, executing her races with the kind of confidence and control that only true champions possess. She didn't just win gold in Paris, she made history, delivering one of the most iconic performances in British athletics.
Race of the Paris Olympics, as 9.1 million of us watched her win gold in the 800 meters final, becoming the first British winner.
Her Olympic triumph in the 800M final was the most watched event on the BBC during the Paris Games, with over 9.1 million people tuning in. That race was the perfect example of her fearless approach. With 1 lap to go, she made a bold front-running move, taking control at a crucial moment. It was a risky strategy, but she never hesitated. She pushed the pace, held off a late charge from Kenya's world champion Mary Moraa, and crossed the line as the Olympic champion. For a moment, the entire athletics world stood still as Hodgkinson celebrated her incredible victory. As if winning Olympic gold wasn't enough, she went on to break her national record in the 800M at the London Diamond League, clocking an astonishing one, 54.61. She sent a clear message to the world. She wasn't just here to win medals, she was here to rewrite history. That time put her within touching distance of the world record, a mark that has stood since 1983. Hodgkinson has never been one to chase records just for the sake of it. But with every race, she is proving that she has what it takes to break one of the longest-standing records in the sport.
Kind of cohort of 800-meter athletes at the moment. How does it feel to be part of that and to be really running so well within that at the minute?
Yeah, well, it's always a pleasure, and there's always...
She also successfully defended her European 800M title. showcasing her dominance over the competition in a way that very few athletes can. Winning a title once is impressive, but defending it shows true greatness. In every race, she displayed incredible race awareness, a killer finishing kick, and the kind of endurance that made her nearly impossible to beat. Her ability to maintain peak performance throughout the season, despite the pressure and expectations, is what separates her from the rest. Her achievements didn't go unnoticed. At the end of the year, she was crowned BBC Sports Personality of the Year, an award that recognizes not just athletic ability, but also impact and influence. Beating out teenage darts sensation Luke Littler for the top honor, she became one of the youngest recipients of the prestigious award. It was a moment that cemented her status as Britain's biggest athletic star and proved how much she had inspired the nation. Keely Hodgkinson's dominance on the track isn't just about talent. It's about hard work, discipline, and a training routine that would break most people within minutes. One of the biggest secrets behind her success is a brutal but highly effective training method: dune running. It sounds simple, but it's one of the toughest workouts an athlete can do. Running up steep shifting dunes isn't just physically exhausting, it's mentally draining. But Hodgkinson embraces the challenge because she knows it's making her stronger. She trains on the dunes of Formby Beach, a beautiful but unforgiving stretch of sand on the northwest coast of England. Many legendary runners before her have used this kind of training, but not everyone is willing to endure it regularly. The soft, unstable surface of the dunes forces runners to work harder than they would on a regular track or road. Every step requires extra effort, making it an intense workout for the legs, core, and cardiovascular system. It's the kind of session that leaves athletes gasping for air and feeling like their legs are on fire. Her coach, Trevor Painter, firmly believes in the benefits of dune training. He has often spoken about how it helps not just with physical endurance, but also with mental toughness. It formulates your mind as well as your physiology, he once explained, and that's exactly what makes Hodgkinson so special. She's not just physically strong, she's mentally unbreakable. She trains in conditions that push her to her limits, so that when she steps onto the track, she's ready for anything. This type of training isn't new. Some of the greatest middle distance runners in history have used dunes to build strength and stamina. Australian coach Percy Cerruti was one of the pioneers of this method, using it to train Olympic champions like Herb Elliott. British running legend Steve Ovett was also known for his brutal dune sessions in Merthyr Mawr, South Wales. Hodgkinson is following in the footsteps of these greats, proving that some of the toughest training methods from the past are still just as effective today. Keely Hodgkinson's absence from the rest of the 2024 season leaves a big question mark over the 800m competition. She has been the dominant force this year, winning every race she entered, taking home Olympic gold, and proving that she is a level above the rest. Without her in the mix, the entire dynamic of the event changes. The biggest question is whether her rivals will take advantage of this opportunity, or if the absence of the best in the world will highlight just how far ahead she is. Mary Moraa, the reigning world champion, is one of the biggest threats in the 800m. She has the speed, endurance, and racing intelligence to challenge Hodgkinson when she is at her best. The two have had some thrilling battles in the past, but in 2024, Hodgkinson had the edge. With Keely out, Moraa has a golden opportunity to assert herself as the top 800m runner for the rest of the season. But the real test will come in 2025 when Hodgkinson returns. If Moraa wants to close the gap, she needs to capitalize on this moment, improve her finishing speed, and prepare for the inevitable rematch.
Every championships I've ever been to, which is quite hard to do.
3 women dominate the 800 metres. Hodgkinson, Athing Mu from the USA.
Athing Mu is another major contender. The American star won Olympic gold in Tokyo and has been one of the most naturally gifted 800m runners in recent years. However, she has struggled with inconsistency and injuries, making it hard to predict which version of Mu will show up in big races. She is nearly impossible to beat when she is at her best, but her inconsistency has allowed runners like Hodgkinson and Moraa to gain the upper hand. With Keely out for the rest of the year, Mu has a chance to regain her dominance, but she will need to find her best form quickly. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.